Okay, I want to do a quick video for you on using new finish car polish to polish your brass casings. This is really important. A lot of people, you clean up when you're doing your reloading process, you clean up your brass and then you let it sit on a shelf. And a year later, when you bring these out to the range, it's all tarnished. Now, brass will tarnish. There's nothing you can do to completely stop it, but using the new finish will very, very much slow it down, as I will show you in this video. I will give you absolute proof of how well this works. Now, tarnish, you have to understand, is rust. So it's a small amount of rust, and the rust is it's a surface. And as it rusts, the tarnish will protect the shell. But what we want to do is we want to have this so it is nice and shiny clean when you pull it out of the case a year after you reload these. Now, all of these right here, these are all 40 caliber casings, and I just pulled them out of the Tumbler, so they're all nice and clean. And I'm just going to take a random one right here, and I'm going to polish it for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a very, very small amount of this. Now, I got this bottle here at Walmart for about $7 or $8, something like that. And it's enough to do all the casings you were ever going to need to do. So I'm just putting a little bit right here on my paper towel. And then I'm going to grab the casing with this pair of pliers here so I don't get any fingerprints. I don't want to contaminate anything here. I just want to show you exactly what I'm doing. So just like you wax a car, now what you can do is you can put, I have a pretty small tumbler, so I only use about a teaspoon of it. But a larger tumbler, you can put a couple tablespoons in there and just kind of play with the right amount. But what you want to do is just add it to the tumbler. I'm just doing one piece to show you. Here is why I'm doing it by hand. Normally I would never hand polish individual bullet casings. That would be absolutely crazy. So what I'm going to do here, I'm just kind of letting it dry for a second here. And then I'm just going to kind of polish it right off. Wax on, wax off, just like you do your car. So you can kind of see it's nice and clean here. If I can get a good close-up of it. Can you zoom into that the best you can? And show how clean and good looking that is. I think that's a pretty good shot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this here and clip it in. Right about like that. And then I'm going to take another one out of the pile here. Just again, it's just completely random. And I'm going to clip it in just the same. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use electrolysis to artificially age these. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm connecting it to one of the diodes, and I'm actually going to use these bullet casings as diodes. Now, I should have marked it before, but everybody knew that it was the red one that was the one that I polished. So I'm just going to mark it with permanent marker right in the top there, so that when we're all done here, it'll be easier to compare and you can see exactly which one it is. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to get these sitting in the water exactly identical, because I want the same. The way I've got this set up, it's hooked up to the electricity. Now these splits right here are both exactly going to the same point. So there's no variables here. It's all completely identical. So I'm trying to get these to sit in the water just the exact same. Takes a second here because I really want to get this to be as accurate as possible. So I got them both sitting in the water right now. Now what's going to happen here in a minute is I'm going to take the other end, this is the other end of the battery, and the minute I put it in the water, I'm going to explain what's going to happen here before I do it. That way you know exactly what's going on, because it does go pretty quick. So the second I put this in the water, it's going to make the connection. Now the positive is going to go to one and the negative is going to go to the other one. And these two, again, the two casings are split off from the same exact source. So everything should be identical here. Now, what happens is we're doing electrolysis. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually split the atoms of water into hydrogen and oxygen molecules. Now, the hydrogen, as you'll see if you can zoom in on the screw when we start going, I want you to kind of keep a close eye and go in between the two here. But you're going to see the screw, what it's going to do is it's going to release hydrogen, and it's going to have bubbles that come up to the surface. Now on the shell casings, it's going to be an oxidization process is what's going to happen. So it's basically a super aging process. It's going to happen very, very quickly right before your eyes, right on camera here for you. Now what's going to happen is we're going to tarnish this metal extremely fast because the electrons are flowing right through these casings. They have nowhere else to go. And in the process of the electrolysis, what happens is the oxygen bubbles aren't released. It actually forms as a tarnish. So this goes really, really fast, and I'm only going to do this for about 6 seconds or so, which is going to kind of simulate approximately a year to a year and a half of just kind of open air is kind of what I'm finding. So here we go right here, and just kind of keeping a real close eye. You can see all the bubbles popping up there on the screw if you watch it really, really close. And on the other side, it's going to be tarnishing. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pull it out of the water, and we just stop the process completely there. So now these are aged, and you can see as I pull them out of the water, you can see that there's a noticeable difference already here. I'm going to clean these up for you just a little bit with a piece of clean paper towel so you can see exactly what's going on here. So you can see this one right here is the one without the permanent marker. This is the one that does not have any treatment on it whatsoever. And I'm just going to rub this about the same amount. So I'm going to try to do it so I'm doing everything identical here as best I can. I'm just going to set that down for a second. I'm going to pull this one out. This is the one we treated with the new finish car polish. And I'm going to rub it about the same amount here. And you can already notice a noticeable difference between the two of them here. Now, if we can get a nice close-up in there, you can see that the one that's been treated, it held out a lot longer than the other one. But look at the difference on the top here. I'm getting in the light a little bit here. If you look at the difference on the top, this one right here is the one that was not treated. As you can see the markings there. You can see there's a noticeable difference here. Now, I just aged these. I left it in there for a little bit more than 6 seconds. This probably got, if you look really closely at this one right here looks like it's been on the range on the ground for 2 years in terms of the amount of tarnishing there. So, you know, noticeably, it definitely helps a lot. And all I'm talking about doing, all I'm recommending what you do is that when you toss it in the tumbler, all I recommend is you use just a small amount of this at the end in your final process. And I really truly believe in this. I use it on all my bullets, all my casings, and I find that after some time in storage there are noticeable differences. And by doing this here, I'm able to absolutely prove to you by showing you the aging process sped up very quickly that it does work. So thanks for watching, and enjoy your happy shooting.